Hey everyone, recently on Etsy, I've been seeing this very popular design style, this one right here, and I saw that it's made over 12K in sales. Now I've also noticed some other ones that look kind of like it using the same style. I'm calling it a doodle frame style because all the frames look like they're hand drawn, and they are also making sales. So I want to show you what kind of sales we're seeing, what kind of designs are making sales on Etsy. Then I'm going to go into Canva and show you how to do this with a 3-step process. Very, very easy. Canva has everything you need to create designs like this, and that's this video. I'm going to show you a full tutorial on how to create one of the most popular designs on Etsy right now. So let's get into Etsy and I'll show you some of the designs that are trending and getting sales right now. Alright, so here we are on Etsy. You can see etsy.com, and I typed in graphic t-shirt right here, and what pops up at the very top? These two that I'm talking about, the graphic frames. You see the doodle frames. You can see here, these two are very similar, but they're not the same one. You can see that this goose has a hat, this one doesn't, and so on. They both have tomatoes and have some similar things, but they're not exactly the same. And they're both very popular right now. And if you can look, this one, I believe this was the first one. That's why it's getting 12K in revenue already, 3K in monthly revenue. And this one right here, 2K in monthly revenue, pretty new. So I'm using Etsy Radar. You won't see this right here if you're just on Etsy without Etsy Radar. Etsy Radar is a thing from ProfitTree. So if you heard me before, I talked about ProfitTree. ProfitTree is its own app. I'll show you right here. And it has all these things along with this Etsy Radar right here, which pops up some of these information, some of the data for some of these. And that's how I can find out what's really selling on here. You can see some of these are really making some sales. And without this, you'd have to kind of dig in. But this does it really easily. And other things that ProfitTree has is this table right here. So you can also do the cottagecore goose t-shirt, search for whatever you want, graphic t-shirt, or whatever you're selling, and kind of see a table of all the sellers and kind of see some of these different demands. Is it sold? Is it in carts and views? And so on. I'm not going to go through a whole tutorial, have a whole tutorial in one of my other videos, but what I'm using right now is only $67 lifetime, no monthly fees. You only pay the one-time thing of $67, and you can see this too, and it's really helpful to see what exactly is selling. So I'm going to show you some other ones using this ProfitTree here. Here's another one that's not a goose, and you can see if you dig down into the products page, you can also see this Etsy Radar right here. You can see how old it is, only 4 months old. Like I said, this design style is very new. And this one's already making a revenue of over $200. Here's another one that I found. This one's more for the 4th of July. You can see kind of the same idea with the doodle frames here. And this one's only 2 months old, and it already made over 800 in revenue. So that's what we're seeing. And luckily we have ProfitTree and Etsy Radar. We can see some of these things to know that yes, this is something that people are using and starting to see sales, not with just the cottagecore goose niche, but for some of these other ones. This one is for gardening, right? And this one's for 4th of July, which is coming up really quick. So I'm going to show you how to create things like this. But if you want to get Etsy Radar, or more specifically ProfitTree, I'll put a link in the description so that you too can come in and see like what kinds of things and find out what styles, like I'm finding out what styles are trending and making some profit. So let's get into Canva right now. I'm going to show you how easy it is to do doodle frames like this and find graphics and everything in there and color them, and then we're going to try and export them, and I'll show you my 3-step process into doing these. All right, so here we are on Canva, canva.com. The first thing we're going to do is create something new. So we'll go to here on the left side, create, click on that. I like to go to custom size. I don't like to use t-shirts. It's 14 by 18. It kind of works, but I like using my own size. So I come here, custom size, width, I'm going to do 4,500, height 5,400, and make sure I'm using pixels and hit create new design. Boom, it's that easy. So this is the artboard that I'm going to use. Now I've done one already, so I'm going to switch over to that, but it's the same artboard here, and I'm going to show you exactly how I got the design that I ended up with. So the first thing you want to do, step one, is to look for frames, and the thing you're going to put in here into search is doodle frames. This is why I call it doodle frames. So doodle frame or doodle frames. I think doodle frame will just work like that. And you can see right away in this graphic, I can hit see all. And look at that. These look really hand-drawn. I'm going to just pick one right here. Now, you can tell which one to pick by the colors right here. So if you can't color them, you don't want it. So you also want it to be transparent. So let's do a test here. I'm going to put a background color. You can see it's not transparent, it's white. So let's click on these. Can we remove this white here? Let's see. Doesn't look like I can remove the white on this one. I can change the black to any color, and I can change the white. Not looking like it's giving me an option to delete it. So I don't want this frame. Let's try another frame. Let's do this one. All right, looks like I can color it. That's great. And let's just test it out. So I'm gonna pick color and pick one of these colors. Great. This is not the color I want because I can't see it, but you can see it works. So these are the kinds of frames that we want. We want to be able to color it. We also want it to be transparent. So let's go back to the frames and just pick a bunch of them. So this one, nope, you can't color it, see? So let's get rid of that one. You may want to circle one. Let's try this one. Yes, you can color it. We'll keep that, and so on. So we'll just keep going and picking ones that you can color. This one you can color, great, and so on. And you're going to want to pick some that are horizontal, some that are square, some that are round, just for variety. So once you pick your frames, I would say pick 5 to 7. So here are the frames that I found. Right here, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sometimes you can get away with, like, I think the one that we saw had 5 on the example, so you could come up, let's move this one on the side here. You may look something like this, in which space you're gonna have to fill the space right here. In this case, I did it like that, you know, right there. So whatever you do, I think 5 to 7. You could even do, like, maybe make it smaller and put another frame, a little frame right here if you want to fill in the space. The more space you fill in with the frames, the less you have to fill in with other stuff outside of the frames. So that's it. So step one, find frames that you can color. You'll notice some of them aren't able to color and some have 2 colors and you can't. So transparent frames that you can color. All of these you can see I can come in here and change the color on them. And then rearrange them in a way that, you know, it's different, not all square lined up. We want variety, and that's what this is. We've got a round one here, we got a more oval one here, we got different styles, and they all look very different. But they all still look hand-drawn. They're different thicknesses. I wish they were the same thickness. You might want to do that. Like this one's kind of thin, so I would probably look for something thicker. But for the sake of time and for the sake of this, I'm going to leave that there. So step one, find the frames. Step two is find the graphics, right? So tons of graphics in here. You can start with an animal or a flower or whatever. I'll show you what I did. I just did doodle goose, since we did some geese. So here's a fun one. Look at that. That's a really fun one. And if you find one like this, one suggestion would be is like see if it fits in one of these frames here, right? So you want to do that. That one does. That's kind of cool. And then the next thing you want to do is, are there other ones that look like it? So you can come in here, hit the right button on your mouse, go to info, and then there's this see more like this. So there's more like this, and there's some other funny ones in this style. So you're gonna want a tall one, you're gonna want a wide one, and so on, depending on the frames. And then it may inspire you to do like maybe some other ones. This one's kind of funny. So the funnier they are, the better. So I'm going to show you the ones that I picked, but this is just the animals. So you may want to do maybe flowers or fruits as well. So you can do doodle flowers like this and hit there. And we're trying to look for the same style. You'll notice this style that I'm seeing right here has a black outline around it. Not all of them will do that, but because this one does it, we're gonna look for that in the flowers. So if I scroll down here, let me see if I can find some flowers that have black outlines. Now we want color and black outlines. This does have black outlines, but it doesn't have the full color. So I'm not gonna use that one. Let me get rid of that one. Let's see what else I got. After scrolling down for a bit, I found this one. It kind of has the black outlines, but it also has the color going outside of the black. So I also don't want this one. Now you may also do the same thing with this. You can come in here, go to info, hit see more like this, and see if there were any flowers in here, and there are. So there's that flower right there, right? That maybe could go in there. Scroll down, let's see if there's any other flowers. And maybe you don't want flowers, but there's one right here. Maybe it's just other things. This is a great way to find some other fun stuff here that might match. All right, let me show you what I ended up finding here. So for mine, I found these ducks here. You'll notice they have a lighter line right here, and I found some flowers. I also found some fruits. Now, not everything's gonna match. You see this one right here doesn't have an outline, but I put it in anyway to kind of fill that space. So they're not all gonna match. Just like when you look at the original one, I'll show it right here. Not all the art styles match, but we kind of wanna get it close. We kind of want the lines to be the same weight, although some frames are not the same weight and everything. Oh, and I did find this banner here as well. So I did doodle banner. You can find a lot of these things when you put doodle in the front and then see all. And there's some doodle banners right here that have kind of color. Oh, that one didn't have color. Let's see if we can find one that has color here. Here's the one. Here's another one that has some kind of color here. And you can also go into magic recommendations and see more and stuff. So you could put letters in here, have fun. In this case, what I did is you can see this goose was reading a book, and then I found books that had the same style as the flowers and same style as the basket. So it kind of all made sense with the books and the flowers and everything. And then this one wasn't exactly the same, but you can see that has a black outline as well for some strawberries. So flowers, fruits, animals, those kinds of things I think would fit. And then try and find some things, either doodle lines or something to fill in here. So that's how easy it is. Canva has so many graphics. It may take you some time to find something that fills in the space, but you saw some of those funny gooses that I found right from the search, right? So doodle, and then type in your animal. So maybe doodle cat if you're doing a cat. There's some funny ones in here too. You might want to look for one that you don't necessarily have to color these, although a lot of these can be colored and have the colors in them, which is nice, but you don't necessarily have to. Like this one right here, I can't color it, but I think that would have been a cool cat to put in here, right? So have fun with this. Use the magic recommendations as well as right-click info and see more like this, and you'll see a lot more things that match the design that you already have. So that's step 2. Filling the frames with different things, finding the graphics that match, and hopefully you can find the styles that match the original one. So I found these geese first, and then I found flowers that kind of match these, not exactly, and then I found this that matched kind of the same but not exactly. So look for kind of the same style. So that's step 2, filling it, and this is probably the one that will take the longest, because that took me the longest to find things that actually fit in the frames nicely. They're not always gonna fit, and especially because you have wide ones and you have tall ones and you have short ones, it may take a little while. The last thing you're gonna do is color the frames. Now you could leave the frames this color or make it the color of the outline right here, which is not exactly black, but kind of more of a gray, you can see. And that's totally fine. But I wanna do one with color, and I'll show you what I did here. All I did, that's the reason why I picked the one with the color, is I can come in here, and now that I have the colors from everything I picked, I can pick any one of these colors to see if it works. So boom, pretty easy. Come over here, click another color, boom. You might want to color this one. Luckily we can. I can change that to blue, boom, to match it. Pick one of these colors right here, boom. That's how easy it is. Now that you have all the colors from the things you imported, you can just have fun, pick the colors on here. And pick another color, and pick another color, and pick another color, just like that. Now, you may want to alternate colors, like if there's a blue here, you may want to do the blue here, and if this is the same as that one, that could match, and so on. You also want to make sure that this will work on other light colors. So I'm going to show you a trick right now. I'm going to click on here. This is the background. Right now it's white, but I'm going to make it, change the color right here, and just slide it over just a little bit, just so you can see if everything is okay. And I think this blue might be too light. So let me go to the blue and kind of do like the different colors. You can see, yeah, that works, that works, that works. Let's see on blue. Yeah, the blue might get lost, right? Even though we use that blue from right here, I might want to make it darker. So I'm going to come in here, click on here, and maybe make that blue a little bit darker, go kind of diagonal from this and click that. And I think that will work better for me. And now that I have that darker one, I'm going to use that. And I think I can change the color on this one too. So I'm going to change that to it, just so that it works better on a darker, like a lighter blue, and it doesn't get lost. And you might want to do this for gray as well. That's another one that kind of gets lost. So I'm going to do some gray here. Oh, we forgot to change the color of this. See how easy I can come in here and do that? Yeah, all those colors seem to work on some of the darker colors, and pinks and blues. We're not going to go all the way this way, although we did see one that it was black. So you might want to try it on black and see if it works. The lines are going to get lost unless you change these lines to something else, but I think it still looks pretty good on black. So you might want to test it out on a black background and see how well it works. So I'm going to change it back to white. There you go. It looks great on white too with the darker colors. You kind of want that contrast, but you also want it, you don't want it too dark if you're going to put it on black. So I really like how this turned out. Hopefully yours turned out really good too. I think I might have changed the color on this white. Whoops. Let me go back to black. There you go. And then all you need to do is hit share, hit download. If you have page 4 like I do, then you're going to have to go in and just select page 4. If you only have that one artboard, then you just select just select that one artboard. You don't have the option to do this. So I'm going to select page 4. I'm going to hit download, and it's going to download to my downloads folder. I'm going to show you that everything is knocked out. That's another reason to check the background colors to make sure there's no white in there. All right, so there you go. I pulled it up from the PNG. You can see the gray behind it also kind of shows you if it works well on gray. I might want to make this darker actually, this one right here. But everything else looks really good and sharp. And now I can take this PNG and upload it to either Printify for Etsy, or if I'm selling on Amazon or some of the other ones, I can just upload it there. They will work for either size now that I have it at 4500 by 5400. And I can continue to make these. Like there's an endless amount of graphics on Canva and an endless amount of frames on here. You can just keep doing this over and over and making some for other niches or other stuff. 4th of July, summer, reading, like the list goes on and on. So have fun with this. Hopefully this tutorial has helped you so that you can create this popular design style that's selling on Etsy. So there you go. That's the popular design style that I found on Etsy with ProfitTree. So make sure if you want to get ProfitTree, I'll put a link in the description here so you can get it for $67 lifetime. You can see what's actually selling on Etsy with that. Now, if you want to see another Canva tutorial, I'll put one of my latest ones right here. This is the limoncello design that I found at Target, and I redesign it in Canva for you so you can follow that along as well. Step-by-step, full tutorial. I think that's one of my favorite ones to do. Thanks again for watching, and as always, keep creating and keep learning. I'll see you on the next one.